okay. I understand that. You know, this is, you know me, I'm all about, it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry.
I was in North Carolina last week for about a week and a half for a project for me, which was, that part was good. I learned a lot for my personal business. But I also went to the court and filed my divorce papers. So I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's been a long road for you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm just angry.
I can imagine. At a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How can we support you?
Um, Probably by making sure that I show up here. Like I made sure I showed up here myself tonight because I knew I wasn't doing individual therapy like I was supposed to. And I was like, it's not going to help me to just lock myself in a room and not talk to anybody and act like everything and just try and deal with it on my own and be stuck when the best thing for me is to get unstuck, because he's clearly unstuck and has been unstuck for a while. So I just need to start being held accountable for the things that make me happy, like using my studio that's downtown, my art studio.
Yeah.
Things like that, and making sure that I am in supportive spaces.
Yeah.
Instead of toxic spaces. If there are generations that don't understand quite how I need to deal with or move through things, I don't think I was ready for the emotions to reemerge as much as they did. And this time I'm trying to actually let them come out as opposed to using drugs or sedatives to mask them. I just need them to come out so I can move on. And April, you already know that I have chronic health issues, so some of those chronic health issues are getting a lot better, and then some of them are naturally getting doing what they do, like the headaches because of the crying. But yeah, proud of myself for showing up.
Very proud of you. Courtney, do you want to say what you said? No? Okay.
I wanted to know if you wanted to drop your contact info so that we can hold you accountable.
Oh, sure.
Support, yeah, is a lovely and beautiful thing. And what I was going to ask everybody is to give Tasha a big hug because she needs it right now, and send her positive energy and good thoughts and love from the sisters and the ancestors and internal strength.
Tasha doesn't really know how to love herself.
Oh, say it again, Tasha. What you say, girl? What you say? What?
I said, because Tasha doesn't really know how to love herself.
Thank you for standing in that truth. Thank you for standing in that truth. I know that's difficult for you.
I was working with an energy specialist, and she doesn't think that I have migraine. She actually thinks that I have bleeding heart syndrome. Where I spend all of my energy and time pouring into other people to the point that it causes my body physical and emotional trauma because I am not pouring into myself. And with the tools that she has been giving me, or the natural oils that she's been giving me to rub behind my ears, have actually been helping my headaches more than any of these drugs they've had me on for the past 20 years. So, yeah.
Good job for standing in your truth. I know that's difficult.
Well, I'm not going to move forward until I do. So, yeah, I don't want to repeat the same mistakes going forward.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Okay. Well, we're here for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim, who says, so proud of you, Natasha, sending healing energy and hugs.
Thank you.
What she's talking about, so last year, August 15th, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. And just kind of going through that, at the time of my diagnosis, I was 35, and so now I'm 36. And when I go to these support groups, I'm not seeing people in the support groups who look like me as far as like my age goes. They're usually older women, so I didn't have anybody that I could, lean on for support. And also being that I am stage 4, I couldn't find anybody to relate to because a lot of the people are caught it at like stage 1, 2, or even 3, and they've had chemotherapy and breast removal and things like that, hair loss and all that stuff. And I'm not going through that, So if you look at me, you would never know that I have cancer because I don't have any of the what you would think cancer looks like. So with the help of Miss April here, I finally launched my YouTube channel and posted my first video, just talking about, some of my feelings and thoughts and things like that. I'm currently working on building a space for Black women in their mid-30s to have a place, especially when you have metastasized cancer. Because if I tell people I have cancer and I don't feel like I get the same amount of support and love because they look at me and be like, "Are you sure you have? You sure you did it? You have it?" So I started that up. So yeah, it was a lot. It was really nerve-wracking for me to put myself out there. But now that I've done it, it feels great. So now I'm running my social media page as well. And I'm also now an advocate for a cancer support group in my area, and I'm working on another one. So I'm just carving out a space here for an untouched market of Black women. And I bought a motorcycle. Woo!
All right, then. Listen, live your best life. Live your entire best life.
Yes.
Kudos to you on all of that. That's amazing. Congratulations to you. And of course, I watched and subscribed. I was like, yes, okay, yes. And because I know, again, this journey has not been easy for you. And again, we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. But I wanted you to share because I know the winding road that it is taking you to get here. And kudos to you for arriving there.
Yes.
It did not look the way that you thought it would look.
It did not. So I was, for those, because we do our one-on-one sessions, it was so depressing for me. And it was so hard for me to accept it, because, I was 35 and was given a medical hysterectomy. They had to shut my ovaries down. And now I'm dealing with menopause and hot flashes and things like that. And my emotions and everything are everywhere. I can't have any more children. They said that if I did get pregnant, me and the child would die. So, it kind of kills my future plans or anything. So I really had to work hard to get through that grief of losing what could have been.
Yeah. Lots of work. Proud of you.
Yes.
You should be very proud of yourself. Almost every woman is a mother to someone in some capacity, whether it's a godmommy, an auntie, a second mommy, a stepmommy, something. Most of the time, there are people, most female identified folks are a mother to someone. And so last Sunday, or this past Sunday, was Mother's Day. And the interesting thing for me was thinking about birthing, right? And a lot of people think about birthing just children. But I wanted to talk to you all about something different and think about what is it that you are birthing in your life, okay? So that's a thought that I wanted to think about. I want to share if I can. Yay! You guys can see that? Yes, no, maybe?
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
She looked like she about to birth something.
I can see that.
Awesome. She looked like she about to birth something. She real big.
Or some things.
Or some things, plural, yes. Yes. So I don't want us to just get really focused in on birthing a child, because that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something else. Okay? Now, I'm talking about purpose, really. Okay? What are some thoughts on pregnancy? You guys can just throw some things out. Like when you see someone pregnant, if you have ever been pregnant, what that's been like, things that you like, things that you have not liked. Don't get quiet on me now.
I think it's beautiful. I pray that one day I'm able to get pregnant and carry a child.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. It's beautiful. Okay. What else?
It's triggering for me, child.
It's triggering. Okay. Would you like to say more?
I think it's triggering in that I've had experiences with pregnancy that have just led me on a wild ride in my life and in a journey in life. And now in seeing pregnant people and in having a child and thinking about what my life would have looked like when I started having children, it just looks different. So for me, it's triggering.
Okay.
But meanwhile, just still very fascinating and just always invokes a curiosity on so many levels. So yeah.
What I heard you say was there's this other side, like people think of only the positive side sometimes, but there can be some negativity that goes along with it.
Absolutely. I think it for me, it just is reminiscent of like what could have been, what life could have looked like. And I think, at the same time, I am also embracing what my life looks like now. I enjoy being pregnant. I had a fantastic pregnancy with my son. The delivery was a whole other coin, the other side of that coin. But, I enjoyed being pregnant with my son and what that experience was like. And I find it interesting because, with the different sizes that all women carry children, like there was a woman who was pregnant, she was getting ready to give birth, and she's giving birth this week. And she looked like how I looked in like the second trimester. So I always find stuff like that interesting too.
Yeah. Like the size of folks. And I was carrying twins and no one knew. I was about to deliver and I was tiny. I can't say that now, but anyway, no self-deprecation, Kim. No self-deprecation.
No, yeah. I don't about that. I can't have a self-deprecating. That just doesn't work. And I have a friend, like, when she would carry her children, she could suck her stomach in up until being in the third trimester and not knowing when she was coming.
Wow.
She could suck her stomach in.
That's interesting.
I think you wouldn't know until she was about to give birth.
I think it's miraculous. Very complicated from the perspective of wanting to be a mother, having had 2 miscarriages, but looking at myself as a mother in multiple ways, and somewhat determined to be a mother, regardless of how that looks. I just think that depending on your belief system for nature, God, however you want to refer to it, to be able to create something and automatically know how to grow it. And then for someone who identifies and has female body parts to be able to birth another human being in both pleasant and traumatic ways, which has been that way for centuries, unfortunately. And we know it looks very different for us with more melanin from a racial standpoint and the care that we get out of it. If you're in the Triangle area or Greensboro, the Racial Equity Institute or the Black Pearl Society actually does an annual conference on Black birthing and those stats. So Gina Hayes Green is actually a mentor and a best friend of mine. She helped. Yes, she's actually who got me into my DEI journey, April.
Wow. She's amazing. I met her early in my career. Early. That is amazing.
She is beyond phenomenal, and she is actually who got me through the beginning of my divorce process, because I never would have thought that someone like her would have been through that, because she stands so much in her strength. But you never know somebody's story, so that's also what's so miraculous. Right. But anyways, back to the birthing part. Just to know what God can do with that body, bringing another life into the world is insane. Nobody else can do that. And I just find that to be miraculous. Like, I have no other words for it.
Yeah. We are created to be born multipliers. And birthing is like, you give a seed, we give a whole life. And thinking about that and moving to purpose. What are your thoughts about purpose?
As it relates to
life. Because
whose purpose? Like our purpose?
Yeah. Well, just thoughts on the purpose, your purpose, having one.
I just figured mine out. Well, maybe I didn't figure it out. I think I always knew. But I don't know. Like, it just, I guess I just realized that this really is my purpose. I came to the conclusion that I need to stop fighting it and do what I'm called to do.
Can you say it slowly and a little bit louder for the people in the back that maybe can't hear you? You stop doing what?
Say that again?
You stop doing what?
I stopped fighting it and decided to do what I was called to do.
Who were you fighting?
Work on doing that. I'm fighting fear. I guess that's what it is.
No, I said who were you fighting, not what. Who were you fighting? We can talk about what later. Who?
I was fighting myself.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. I'm just saying, you're fighting you. Okay. All right. So, go ahead.
Second that.
You suck at what?
Like, the fact that I was fighting myself, like the fact that it took me 5 years to get a divorce to move into something that is a greater purpose for me that I've always known that I wanted to do, because I've had business plans and drawings around it since I was 10 years old. Like, I've never been able to move in that direction because I was fighting myself and I was fighting fear. But by releasing, even though I have to grieve and move through this process, I do believe that God has intentionally done this and said, okay, no, this is like your time. Like, I'm doing these things for you on purpose. Like, there were certain things that happened leading up to the filing that were positive for my business, that were like undoubtedly like, no, this is what you're supposed to be doing right now. This is your purpose. Like, you need to reshift your focus. You keep on moving your focus. That's why you're so stressed out. That's why you're so stressed out at work. That's why you're so stressed out in your marriage. That's why you're so stressed out in life, because your eyes are not on the right thing. And I keep on trying to tell you that this is what you're supposed to be doing. And every time you do this, the doors open for you left and right.
So what I hear you saying is, within, it's been there. That's what I've heard both of you say. It's been within. You've been ignoring, you've been avoiding, you've been running from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it sounds like purpose is a scary thing.
I think for me, it's not that it's scary. It's the fear of failing for me.
Mm-hmm. What did I just say a second ago? What if you, instead of failing, because that's the response, what if I fail? What if you soar? Why is it that's the first thing that we think? That's the first thought, we're going to fail.
I think sometimes it's like it's overwhelming. Sometimes when I think about like a purpose, and it's not that I'm so much like into them, but I almost think of like these like superheroes and like superhero movies, and you see these like origin stories and how, you know, they have to figure out how to use their powers, what they're for, and then at first they're really scared of them. You see some of them like they turn away from their superpowers. They don't want them. They don't understand them, and it's, you know, but ultimately they have to like come back to that because it's sort of what they were called to do.
Okay, you are brilliant.
So a lot of times, like, you know, and just hearing like Courtney and Natasha like talk about those things, like it's always reminiscent of those things to me. Like, you know, you're tapping into your superpowers and you're handling things in that way that you're recognizing what you are here for.
Yeah. P.S. says, my thought is, how do you know or find what your purpose is? I've been praying on how to do that. Ooh, child, you in the right place tonight.
Can I give a little advice? What this lady told me? This lady told me that basically my purpose was always what I wanted to do. It was already in me. I always had a desire to do it. And that's how I came to the conclusion that it is what it is. Like, stop fighting it. It is what it is.
It can be that simple. Yes, it definitely can be. I think one of the things that I want to point out, and I talk about this all the time, were you socialized to go get your purpose? Or were you socialized to go get a job?
I think that's a good one, because I think you also have to navigate the waters. And what I mean by that is you can have a purpose, but it's how you choose to let that purpose play out. And I feel like part of my purpose has always been making sure that Black individuals have a more equitable position throughout the country.
Right.
But I chose at some point to do that in a corporate setting. Okay. That became very challenging for me and very stressful. When I was doing it through my art, my business, my community development work, working with the Racial Equity Institute, I was happy. I was still doing my purpose, but I was doing it in a manner that I think I was supposed to do. So, I mean, I think you can have a purpose, but you have to, this is just the way that I do it. Like, I mean, pray for discernment on how am I supposed to use my purpose. And I also,
as much as my parents get on my nerves, like sometimes they do have small nuggets that are actually like really, really, really right. Like, you know, I might be at the end of my rope and then my dad might say something really smart. And I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Right. So why purpose? So a life purpose is an overarching vision based on the things that hold the most meaning for you. Okay. It often consists of a central goal or set of goals that serve to guide decision-making, provide direction, create a sense of meaning, influences behaviors, determine how you prioritize your time. Now, I said that because I'll get to it in a minute, but I always say the things that you want, you prioritize. I always say that. But okay, your life purpose can be considered your why, or the reason you get out of bed each morning. It's the driving force behind many of your actions, shaping your goals and giving you a sense of purpose in the world. Okay, if we're going to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, remember that's that thing at the top that you're trying to get to. Okay. LH in the chat says, I realized I was right about my purpose when God showed me I could do it where I was planted. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, did I skip one? I did. I feel like I did. So, any thoughts on this? Oh, this is the one that I skipped. Why is it important? A purpose. Discovering your life's purpose not only gives you a sense of direction, focus, and self-worth. Again, that's the level right before self-actualization. But it also brings various benefits such as improved physical health and well-being. Your mental, your emotional, and your physical are all tied together. Increased success and happiness. Stronger personal relationships. Higher income. Recent studies indicate that having a strong sense of purpose contributes to positive social well-being and reduces feelings of loneliness. Living purpose. So why purpose? So a life purpose is an overarching vision based on the things that hold the most meaning for you. Okay? It often consists of a central goal or set of goals that serve to guide decision-making, provide direction, create a sense of meaning, influences behaviors, determine how you prioritize your time. Now, I said that because I'll get to it in a minute, but I always say the things that you want, you prioritize. I always say that. But okay, your life purpose can be considered your why, or the reason you get out of bed each morning. It's the driving force behind many of your actions, shaping your goals and giving you a sense of purpose in the world. Okay, we're going to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Remember, that's that thing at the top that you're trying to get to. Okay. LH in the chat says, I realized I was right about my purpose when God showed me I could do it where I was planted. Okay. Yes. Okay. Why is it important? A purpose. Discovering your life's purpose not only gives you a sense of direction, focus, and self-worth. Again, that's the level right before self-actualization. But it also brings various benefits such as improved physical health and well-being. Your mental, your emotional, and your physical are all tied together. Increased success and happiness. Stronger personal relationships. Higher income. Recent studies indicate that having a strong sense of purpose contributes to positive social well-being and reduces feelings of loneliness. Living purposefully can also decrease impulsive behaviors and lead to a longer life. Any thoughts?
I want to be living in my purpose.
All right. So let's get to it then. How do I get pregnant? Now, this pregnancy that I'm talking about is pregnant with your purpose, right? Some people just feel like it just drops from the sky. And if you are in a place where everything around you is so loud, you cannot hear you talking anymore. Okay? Somebody said something in the chat. Oh, same. I'm ready to find mine and do that. Okay, let's go. So the first thing is develop a relationship with you and be committed to it. With you. Now, let me be clear. Somebody's purpose, they may feel like, okay, my purpose is to, because it's not just one goal, it can be many goals that direct your life, right? So I want to have a successful family that blah, 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 right? In order for you to be able to do that, you got to have a good relationship with you, a great relationship with you, right? So happiness is an inside job. Are you working on it? And so the way that we talk about the relationship with you in my practice is called plushing, right? So it's pleasing, it's an acronym, sorry, and it stands for different things. So the P is pleasing you, being present with you, prioritizing you. Did I say present? Prioritizing, protecting, finding peace for you, okay? Also the L, liking you, loving you, listening to you. Those three things alone, lots of people don't do. They don't like themselves, they definitely don't love themselves, and they don't listen to themselves. Learning from yourself, getting lost in yourself. A lot of people are like, that is so selfish. It is not. It creates self-sustainability. Okay? Savoring moments with you, seeing yourself, like really seeing who you are, seeking you and who you desire you to be, searching for you, supporting you, soothing you, sustaining you, stop being superwoman, and saving others. And the one that I did not add in here, which is important, having sex with you. We'll come back to that a different day. H is honoring you, hearing you, holding you, physically holding you and holding yourself accountable, helping you and healing you. That's really engaging in a relationship, a healthy, sustainable relationship with you. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna take 6 weeks to do it and then I'm done. No, it is a lifelong journey to have the relationship with you. Okay? NP says, amen, what I need to think about the steps of my purpose and my purpose in general. All noise needs to cease. Yes. So when you start doing this for you, when you start plushing for you, then some of that noise is quieted. Okay? Number 2, develop daily practices. You know I like an acronym, lamping. Okay? Loving on you. XOXO. Kisses and hugs. Kisses and hugs. Okay? For those of you who do have children, or if you have a partner, like you're always kissing them and hugging them, you need to do that to yourself. You need it. You need it. You need to show yourself love, affection, care, consideration. Pour it into you. A lot of times we're going out, hoping someone will do it for us, when we need to come into ourselves. Oh, I love me. I'm sorry. Got lost for a second. So, that's the first one. Affirmations. What are your daily affirmations? For every one negative thought that we pour into our head, it takes 25 positive to wipe that one negative away. Okay? And I know we have a lot of negative talk all day long, centered around, I am not enough. So what are some of the positive things that you can say? Anyone?
I am enough.
Yes.
I am.
Yes, thank you. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are intelligent. You're the best thing since sliced bread. I love your eyes. Your smile is gorgeous. You have beautiful skin. What you pour into you. I appreciate you and how you help others. You pour into you. All of those affirmations for you. Okay? M, meditate. And I did not spell that correctly, y'all. I apologize. I was going quick and it auto-corrected. Meditate. That is not what that says, but you know what I meant. Thank you. Thank you, Kay, for laughing at me. See, I'm human. I'm so human. Go into you.
Yeah, be human, not self-deprecating.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So go into you. Get quiet. Get still. Breathe. If you need a meditation, I have one and I can suggest some. Those grounding.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Can we get these slides?
Yes.
Okay. And can we get some meditation links?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and yes, we'll do that. Okay. Along with meditate, pray. Now, some people would say, oh gosh, here we go. We beating about whatever faith you are, you pray to who your God is. We need to have a connection to our higher power. I'm not talking about going to church and all that. I'm talking about having a connection, whatever that may be. P said, I'm glad somebody asked about these slides. Yes, I will make sure you get them.
Can you talk about the difference between meditating and praying?
So meditating is coming in. And sometimes people can pray while they're meditating, right? When I meditate, I'm doing a body scan typically. And I'm releasing stress and I'm pouring in positivity. So I'm saying some kind of mantra to myself that helps me positively move forward. Something like, you are beautiful, you are divine, and you are loved. And it's me telling me this, right? When I'm praying, I am acknowledging my higher power and I'm asking for something, whether it's direction, whether it's understanding, whether it's positivity, whatever. I'm asking for something. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So develop some daily practices. So some people will wake up 15 minutes early to do this. Some people are like, I can't wake up no earlier, da 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 da. Now, when they say that, I'm like, okay, so out of the 24 hours in the day, you're telling me you don't have 15 minutes for you. 15 minutes. Just a thought. Be open to listen and hear. So while I'm meditating, sometimes I'm waiting, and while I'm praying, I'm listening. I'm still. Things may drop in my spirit. An idea may arise. Something. And so I typically have a pen and paper beside me so I can write something down that came to my mind. If you are asking for clarity, expect to get an answer. If you're asking for understanding, expect to get an answer. Be open to hear and listen to what's being said. Write it down and make it plain. Set meaningful goals and objectives to reach the goals. Okay? Sometimes we have these goals and they're just out here, just floating around. Yeah, I want to buy a house. I'm just pulling out a goal. Okay? Any goal. And it's just kind of out here. We've not done any research. We've not even written down, I want to buy a house. What are the steps in buying a house? How do you walk towards that? Right? So if your purpose has been dropped in your spirit, you write it down. That's why, again, I said pen and paper. And you come, okay, I want to open a business doing whatever. Okay, there's your goal. What are the objectives to reach that goal? What are the things that you need to do to reach that goal? You have to sit down and be purposeful in your purpose, intentional. I'll say that word instead. You have to sit down and be intentional about getting to where it is that you want to go. Feed yourself. Okay? Physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. So if you are trying to, or you want to set a business concerning, I don't know, doing a podcast. You don't know anything about podcasting. You need to be on YouTube, Instagram, Google, looking up all the things around that particular thing. Instead of feeding yourself the other things that may clog your mind, like, I'll raise my hand, trash TV, which is my go-to at night. I switched and I started watching podcasts on how to do certain things. Because that's time wasted that I could be feeding myself something else. So think about what it is that you are putting in yourself. This is so physically, the food as well. We're talking food, but we're also talking about intellectually. What are your eye gates and ear gates? Seeing and hearing. What are you around that might affect you emotionally and spiritually? Okay? PS says, I believe I'm doing these things, but I don't think consistent enough. I need to follow through and stay dedicated to find my... Yes, you do. You got to stay dedicated. Okay? This is so important. Surround yourself with people who will be a great influence on you and the baby, your purpose. If you have people around you that's always talking negative, that's making you feel away, that's not going to help you get to where you want to go. If they're clapping you up and supporting you, and yes, you can do it, and how can I help? And those are the people that you want to surround yourself with. Seven, address your fears and barriers. Cece, weren't we just talking about this? She's not listening. Okay. So the barriers and the fears. Fear is a big barrier, but there are other barriers. So I encourage folks to write down what are the things that could get in the way of you getting to where you want to go. Okay. The next one. Imagine what you will look like, feel like, sound like when you give birth to your baby or purpose. Okay? Imagine yourself in that, walking in it, doing that on a different level, and walk towards it. Give yourself the visual. And when you meditate, you may meditate on that and visualize you walking towards that life. Nine, prepare for the labor or the work. So first thing to know is it's okay to cry, because this is work. Okay? Breathe. Use the resources that you have. Right? There's lots of resources. I'm one of them. But there are lots of resources. And speaking of resources, who is your delivery team? Or is it just you? Again, going back to that team of people that, or that village that support you and help you along the way. Now, the work is not over. Raise the baby or your purpose. Walk in it. Let the work begin. I think sometimes we feel like we have our purpose and we're all good and that's good. It's over. No. It's still work. There's still work to be done. Thoughts, feelings, emotions. Everybody got quiet and they're in their head. I hear the wheels turning.
It's heavy.
It's heavy. Say more.
I mean, because I think it's like, you know, it is having a child. Like you hear when people do talk about like the businesses that they start or the work that they're doing, and they do say it's like their baby. And, you know, I feel like it's like parenthood is something sometimes that I think a lot of us want. Some of us are clear that we don't want that, but then some of us think we do want it and then don't realize like the effort and the work that it takes. And so like that just becomes daunting, you know. And I mean, I'm just like speaking specifically for me, like even in being a mom and knowing how much I have been putting into it, and then knowing how much it's going to take for me, to continue to nurture. And so that, and facing the fact that, to give birth to something, that I would want for myself, and I say I want for myself, and the effort that it's going to take to do that, I think is like, without realizing it's daunting, and not something, and that's something I need to just give my, I don't want to say give into, but just recognize, I guess, and accept. If that makes sense.
Thank you for sharing that. I think, especially around pregnancy, that's why I started with pregnancy. Because a lot of times we're like, oh yeah, of course I want to be a mother. Of course I want to do that. Of course. It's a lot of work. And while I believe that it is a beautiful, wonderful experience and all of that, it is tough. It is tough. It's a lot of work. Not saying it's not rewarding, but it's a lot of work. And that's why I'm equating this with purpose. Because a lot of times, people's purpose, you're right, they equate it to their baby. You are birthing your purpose. That's why the question was, what are you birthing? What are you birthing? And it's okay. And that's why I said, fear is real. Cece said something about being afraid. When you are preparing to birth something, that could be daunting. Yeah. It can be a very daunting task. That, okay, I got to get ready for this. And it's not just carrying it, right? Because there's work in carrying it and preparing for it, but then the work really comes when it's out here and it's really a thing. Anyone else? Is this really, really heavy for y'all? Or y'all are checked out?
I think my issue is starting and stopping. That's a big issue for me. Even like when it comes to what I now know is my purpose, it's not that well, I guess it is. In the past, I do start and then I'll stop.
Okay. What I'm hearing from you is that you're having some recognitions about the behavior and the dedication, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And thinking about, and this is the part when I talk to people one-on-one that frustrates them, is that they've given so much time and attention to other things, but when it comes to the things that deal with them, they've avoided and neglected.
I can relate.
Yeah. I've had some folks in the chat say that they're in their own head. Yes, I can relate. Some people are saying it's insightful and that it's heavy because they're not sure what they're here to do. They're thinking, starting and stopping as well. Yeah. I think that's when you get quiet and go in. Again, this is not something we are taught to do. We are taught to get a job. And while our purpose may be wrapped up in a job that we do sometimes, typically it's not. So that's something you go inward for and really pay attention to you and hear and really deal with you.
I have two things. Well, at first there was one thing I wanted to ask you to talk about, but
sure,
it's two. Overcoming imposter syndrome.
Ooh, Jesus! I need for you to stop reading my mind, man, because it was on the tip of my tongue. It was. So okay, good job. And the other thing.
And then the other thing is overcoming like analysis paralysis.
Yeah. Yeah. So someone mentioned this. So I'm gonna deal with the last one and then come back to the first one. So someone mentioned, was it in here? It might have been earlier. But fight, flight, freeze, fawn. You all heard those things? You fight, you take flight and leave. Freeze, you freeze, or you fawn, right? Fawning is fainting. Or you like play dead. Now, I bring this up because we're talking about survival, right? And a lot of times people will either fight themselves about this issue or they freeze. Then I don't know which way to go. And so they do nothing. Okay? So that is...
Yeah, that's the me. I get overwhelmed with information. So I just kind of do nothing.
I'm the same way.
Instead of just, okay, I'm going to pick one of these suggestions and just do it. You have too many suggestions, right? Someone else said, the issue I'm having with pursuing my purpose is folks around me not completely seeing my purpose. It's only for me to see. But with that, they hinder my progression. Remember I said, surround yourself with people who are positive influences on you and the baby, which is your purpose. So I'm going back, Kay, to what you said about imposter syndrome. Thank you for that. We do a lot of performance. And the performance is to show people that we are fine, we are good, we have wonderful things. Everything is great. Everything is wonderful. And everything is not. It is us trying to prove to other people that we are fine. When in our heads, we know that we are not fine, that everything is not great. And when you really get to know you, again, plushing, when you go inward to you, you recognize that the person that you must please is you, not anybody else. And so the performance ceases. That's when you start making the rubber meet the road and actually doing what it is that you're saying that you should be doing. But it starts with you meeting you. You having a full introduction to the depth and breadth of wonderful, spectacular, marvelous you. Did I answer the question, Kay?
Yes. I think also though, it also makes me think of like in getting started in the things that, you're looking to do and pursue, and you're new at it, and feeling like, how do you get to a place of feeling like you can be an authority in the space, or you have not even be an authority, that what you have to contribute to the space is worth offering.
Who told you that? I always ask this question. I know it gets on your nerves, but who told you? Who told you that?
It's not easy to step into a thing, and for me.
Okay, thank you for it. Okay, so I'm going to take a juxtaposition. Our counterparts. I was on a session today with a counterpart, and they are looking for new opportunities in the workforce. And they were talking to me about a position that they were not qualified at all for, and had no problem whatsoever putting their name and sending their resume and everything, and got a call back.
Let me add to that. My friend would always tell me, I don't know if I know it's recorded, but
don't use initials or don't say a name.
It ain't that, but you can edit it.
Okay, I can. You're right.
Okay. My friend would tell me to apply to positions regardless, because white boy Connor, who is not qualified for that position, will apply for that position and show up as if he knows how to do the job, even though he does not know how to do the job. So she always would tell me to walk in there with white boy Connor's energy.
Yeah. I don't want you to take his energy. I want you to have your own energy, because what we've been taught, I hate to use this, but we are magical. But I think sometimes we forget how magical we are. And so you have to believe in you. Thanks for laughing at me, Kay. You have to believe in you. You have
Oh, no. That was a laugh. That was a laugh at Courtney.
that energy. No, it's okay.
I laugh at, yes, at Connor's, because that's a fact.
It is a fact.
They be so entitled, and just the world. I mean, oh yeah, let me not even go down. But that's not what we talk about.
Well,
Okay,
let's go there though. I think we forget that nations are built on our backs.
They are. And
sit right there. Just sit right there. 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 Nations are built on our backs. So walk with this is called finding queendom for a reason. Your inner strength. I think we always get so caught up in us. I gotta be strong. I gotta be strong. I gotta deal with it. No, you have to know how to play the game. And I hate playing games. Hear me clearly. But in some situations, there is a game that you have to play. It's not checkers, it's chess. And I say this a lot. Whenever you see a Black queen, she is deep in thought. She's thinking. That's her work. It's not the physicalities, it's thought. How am I navigating this? And that's what it's about. So you go in and you present you, CC, you present you, Kay, you present you in all of your queenly, regal energy. You lean into that. That's why I keep saying you have to go in and know you first. Because when you know you and who you are made to be, it's easy to walk in that. Yeah. So you don't need white boy Connor's energy. You need your energy. You need to adjust your crown. Your crown is your mental. That's it. Adjust that. Knowing that you are not just enough. You are more than enough. More than enough. Y'all got me preaching over here. Anyway, I hope I answered.
Preach, April, preach.
that bothers me.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, that bothers me because I feel like we forget how much we have. So when you go in, I'll take it out of you, I'll put it in me. I do this a lot. I started my practice when I was much older. I've been doing this work for a long time. But when I decided to focus on us as Black women, everybody in the world was like, girl, why you want to do that? You know, Black women, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, and some of these people were Black women. I was like, gotta back up. Because I know what we have as a people, as a community. Some of us are just lost and don't know how to reach within ourselves to pull it out. That's it. So you may look at me as an authority, but for me, I'm like, I'm still making my way. And when I did, I was like, okay, here I am. I'm saying what needs to be said. That's what it is. So it's not me being an authority. It's me saying what I believe and where I feel like I need to be walking on my journey in my purpose. Because there is nobody who can tell me this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. At all. At all. And that came from this process. I'm not telling you what I read about. I'm telling you what I know. The question is, are you prepared to put in the work to birth your purpose? Because it is indeed work. And the only person that can do it is you.
Well, I'll answer the question, even though you may not be looking for an answer.
Oh, answer, child. Answer it.
Okay. Yes, I am ready to put in the work. I'm tired of going in circles and doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So yeah, it's that time for me.
I appreciate you being brave enough to stand in it. Let's get to walking in it.
That part right there.
Mm-hmm. So just like you put MP on blast, like you want to put your number in the chat so we can hold you accountable. I said, oh, okay, CC. You want to put your number in the chat so people can hold you accountable, ma'am?
I sure will. I sure will.
That's what this is about. That is really what this is about. Holding each other accountable and helping folks to elevate to where they want to go. Do what they want to do. Have the life that you want to create. It is possible. It is 100% possible for you to create what it is that you want. Manifest it. You can. Is you.
Well, I'll answer the question, even though you may not be looking for an answer.
Oh, answer, child. Answer it.
Okay. Yes, I am ready to put in the work. I'm tired of going in circles and doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So yeah, it's that time for me.
I appreciate you being brave enough to stand in it. Let's get to walking in it.
That part right there.
Mm-hmm. So just like you put MP on blast, like you want to put your number in the chat so we can hold you accountable. I said, oh, okay, CC. You want to put your number in the chat so people can hold you accountable, ma'am?
I sure will. I sure will.
That's what this is about. That is really what this is about. Holding each other accountable and helping folks to elevate to where they want to go. Do what they want to do. Have the life that you want to create. It is possible. It is 100% possible for you to create what it is that you want. Manifest it. You can. Anybody else? Is this hard? Or is this just a hard word? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It is hard. This is like very hard because it's like it's really having to confront yourself and find out if you really want the things that you say you want, and battling yourself and battling the negative self-talk and battling the external negativity. Because for some people, the external negativity are folks they can't avoid, because it might be family members, partners.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But, just for me specifically, it's like me and me. We be going at it, me and me. So we be like, let's get ready to rumble.
So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave you with this thought. So I remember when I went into labor with my twins. So I remember this. It was in North Carolina. It was a hurricane coming, and I believe the barometric pressure induced my labor. I was early. Anyway, so I have pushed.
That's the thing. Sorry.
It is a thing.
When I went into labor, there were like heavy storms, and the labor and delivery said there was a lot of women coming in because of the barometric pressure. So that's the thing.
It is really a thing. So I remember I had pushed my son out, and I was like, "Whew, okay, I'm done." They were like, "Ma'am, you have another child in there." And I was like, "She'd be all right. Nope, I'm done. I'm not pushing anymore. I'm finished." And they were like, "Ma'am, you can't just stop now. I said, yes, I can. I'm over here crazy. Just talking crazy. Yes, I can. I don't need to do this no more. What? I'm just tired. I don't want to. And the doctor looked at me. She was Dr. Battle. I will never forget. God rest her soul. She said, so what would be the consequences of you not pushing this child out? I'm like, why are you going logical with me right now? I'm in the stir. What? I say that to say, what would be the consequences of you not birthing your purpose? Just want you to think about it. We avoid a lot, but I don't think we think about what are the consequences.
You know, April, sometimes I don't like you. Oh, that was so deep. That was so deep. And it hit me in my soul.
Listen, JP in the chat said, I'll never rest spiritually.
For real. That's a fact. That's a fact. And like I'll continuously be fighting myself, trying to get somewhere, but not trying to get somewhere. I don't even know how to explain it. It's
swimming in circles.
It's like running in circles. Yeah. Yep.
It's like a merry-go-round. You hopping off on the wrong place and then end up getting swept up and dragged again and go back around.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm. Sure. It's time to go to bed.
It is. So I want you all to, it is heavy. Because I was like, is my head hurting? Yes. And MP got off because she was starting to get a migraine and she was already kind of going there because she was a little emotional. And I appreciate you all wrapping your arms around her and supporting her during this difficult time right now. This is, I think after Mother's Day, and I meditated on actually if I wanted to say this or not in this space, but I felt like it was necessary because I want you all to grow and stretch into what it is that you are destined to be. That ain't easy. And I know, thank you, Cece, for saying sometimes you don't like me. And I get that. I do. At the same time, I know that's my job. And more than my job, it's my purpose. It is. But when you get to where you want to be, you love me.
That's a fact.
Yes. Oh, JP, heart you. Says finding you surely wasn't by accident. Thank you. No, it's divine. I truly believe the work that we do in our practice is divine. It is. It is. We are in our lane, and I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. Y'all just don't know. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you as well, because you're helping me. And for those of you who went to the last retreat, I said this, you are helping me fulfill my purpose in life. I truly believe it. That's what I'm here to do. I'm on purpose. And when I'm on purpose, I'm feeling amazing and thankful and whew. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And I go so hard because I take this seriously and personally. I do. So yeah. So I want to help you to get to where you want to go. And birth the purpose inside you.